Hey, good morning. I hope you guys can hear me. I'm still in the process of setting up, but we got in here today and this activity right here was going on. So I thought I would go ahead and start the live stream early. Guys, it looks like preparations are being made. For the demolition that's supposed to occur, from what we understand, around 5 p.m. today. Happy Mother's Day to all of you that are in here early. Thank you guys. See, we almost have 500 in here right now. I hope the audio and the video is coming in pretty clear. Somebody that is in the chat now, please let me know, are the images you guys are receiving right now acceptable? I've really got the camera zoomed in. Keep in mind, we're over 1.5 miles away from the site to show you guys what's going on here as these teams are up, and they are working around those bands that we saw yesterday, which we know now are part of the charges that are to be detonated, from what we understand, later on today, weather permitting. Sounds good, looks good. Thank you guys. We've got some more setup to do, so you may or may not hear something from me for a little bit. I've got a few more things to take care of. It was important for me to go ahead and get this going. Historic day here in Baltimore. I'll be right back with you guys.
You got the machinery over there, that ain't coming in.
reason why you use the whole truck splitter up?
Come again?
Is there any reason to use a whole truck splitter after the dolly? Dolly. Can you use that one, please, so you're not blocking the pilot ladder?
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, right. Roger that, sir. We'll lower the ladder on the starboard.
Okay guys, we're here and trying to get some things going. We had a little bit more setup to do. I see that we've already gotten 1,000 in here. We're in a little early. We were only planning on starting the live stream today at 10 o'clock. I moved it up to 9:45, and then when I got here and saw the activity that was going on at the span, I decided I needed to get up as quick as I could, so I did that. It required me to focus my attention on a few other things, but I'm back here with you now. We are live from Baltimore, where from what we understand today, they are going to, weather permitting, now there are a lot of other variables that are going to go into the action, but from what we understand, 5 o'clock today, they're going to try to separate the big part of the span that's across the bow of the dolly and let it slide down into the water. We're planning on being here to see that. I don't even think we've got Tiger here in the chat yet. Good morning, everyone. Thank you guys for joining us. Preparations are still going on, and it looks like when I first got here, there were two of the or one man lift and then the basket that's off the crane, but they had two different groups that were up. I see now they just have the basket up. I'm not sure what happened to the man lift. Maybe they had to go down and get some more supplies. Good morning and happy Mother's Day from Baltimore. If you guys have not, and if you still do, have the opportunity, give your mom a call this morning. Give your mom a call and invite her to join the stream with us today. But it is Mother's Day, and happy Mother's Day to all you mothers that are out here. Thank you so much. Missing mine today. If things
Roger, coming up on the bow.
go as planned, and from what we've been told, maybe a little more than 7.5 hours from now, 5 p.m. local, we should see this remaining piece of the span that's across the bow of the dolly broken up by demolition charges. Thank you guys for joining us. The weather has, we had weather that moved through last night, maybe 12 to 15 miles south of the site. It was that close. Weather this morning's pretty nice. Skies are more sunny than cloudy, but there are a few clouds around. We do have a little bit of breeze blowing, but conditions really look nice. The captain of the port announced that starting at 10 a.m., they're going to allow recreational vehicles out of the Port of Baltimore. And then at 11 a.m., they're going to allow recreational vehicles back into the port. So quick turnaround today, and that's a bit of a change from what we have seen in the past with the temporary channels being opened up.
Ryan, coming down the bow.
I expect that we will see some recreational vessels taking advantage of the opportunity to sail out. Everybody jumping in here wanting to know when it's going to happen. They're saying 5 o'clock. We see that other lift coming up now. Maybe they had to go get some more material. Look like they're on the way back up. On the back side where you see the yellow block off the crane, there is a basket there. It's got a couple guys in it right there. On the other opposite side, we do see that man lift on its way up one of those legs. Let's see what happens. I know we have started early. When we got here and started the setup, I immediately looked over and I could see this kind of action going on at the site. Even though we are 1.5 miles away, I decided we need to get set up a little bit earlier and try to get live. So we are live a little earlier now than what we would have originally planned to be. Originally we had kind of set the time for 10. Then 9:45, I tried to get set up as quick as I could so you guys could see what's going on here. Thanks so much for joining us as we're closing in now on 35,000 subscribers to the channel. I can't tell you how much I appreciate the support this group has given me since we've begun the coverage here in Baltimore. Thank you so much.
You think this cow's loaded, Misco?
Hopefully we will see Tiger joining the chat here momentarily.
Checking the stern now.
Like 14 and a half on about. Let me figure out what we're gonna do here next, which part.
Lock.
Probably gonna, how much more shoaling y'all have?
We still got 6 spots west of the bridge core.
Roger.
Thank you guys for joining us here this morning. Do us a favor and hit the thumbs up. Give us a like. That helps YouTube to spread the news that there's something interesting going on the channel today.
Right.
From what we understand, they
Sorry.
are going to do the demolition today sometime around 5 o'clock. We're going to have a live stream this morning. We'll probably take a break, make sure our batteries are charged and the equipment is ready, and be back with you guys no later than 4 p.m. today, maybe even earlier. The best thing to do is to subscribe to the channel. If you are not subscribed to the channel, you can't engage the live chat. I don't think it's fair to the rest of our viewers who have been with us and now are subscribed to the channel. So we've made that toggle on the control panel that if you're not subscribed, you can't participate in the chat. Get subscribed. Tiger, thanks for being here with us. I had to jump in here a little earlier. We got to the site and there was some action going on. So we decided we needed to go live. Thank you, Tiger, for being here with us.
Roger.
No, that's my fault.
Morning, Scott. We can nurse it
I
back.
told Tiger when we were going on, and just for you guys, I rushed to get things set up. It's not as simple as pointing a camera and hitting a couple camera phone at the site and hitting a couple buttons. I should take a picture of this setup. It's pretty crazy. I hope you guys are receiving decent audio this morning and even better video. We have seen a crane with a basket. I think it was off the 533 there. Guys working up around that banding that we know now is part of the charge that's going to be used to demo this section of the bridge span. They've gone down. The man lift was up and went down. I think they went back down to get more supplies. Maybe that's what the basket's doing. Maybe they're going back to get some more supplies. I don't know what's going on with the audio. If we are losing
Hey,
some
Armand.
audio,
Have him watch this spot on the back here by the draft marks.
I'm not sure what's going on with the audio. Let me check and see. Do we have battery issues going on already? No battery issues. I have not seen the Wheel of Death spinning yet. A lot of people saying now that the audio is bouncing in and out, and I don't know what is causing that problem. Everything we're seeing on our end looks good. Maybe, just maybe, it's part of the streaming issue. You know, that's possible what it is, because I am constantly monitoring not only the live stream chat that's coming across the laptop here, but I'm trying to keep everything going on the other two monitors we have here as well. Maybe that's what it is.
Frank, is that one of you guys by the generator room there with the open mic?
Nah, my guys are up on the scout.
So just to kind of let you guys, from what we understand, what the plan's going to be, around 5 o'clock today, they're going to detonate the charges, and this span is going to break apart, and it is, according to the animation, and the guys that set these charges usually get it pretty close to right. It's going to slide away and come into right down into the water. It's going to break it into pieces, and it's just kind of going to collapse and slide off the bow into the water. We know that when it happens, there's a lot of material that's still right in there. A lot of material that is still being pinned down from the weight of that span. Expect all that to slide off the ship.
Yeah, see if you can get up with him and ask him if he cares. I don't think it matters on these river scouts, so it shouldn't matter. But
charges are
just
in
ask
place,
him.
and if you look up the span, up those spans, you can see some banding. There's some black banding, wrap, if you will. Those are some of the areas that are visible to us. We know there's more that have been placed, but those are the most visible we see of where those charges have been placed. Well, if a lot of weight shifts off the bow of the ship, I would think we would probably see a little bit of settling on the ship. Yeah, this morning has turned out very nice. Weather moved through very early morning hours. And there was weather maybe 12, 15 miles south of the site. So far, the weather looks pretty nice. Forecast does show the possibility of rain into the early afternoon, and then it looks around, from what I saw, around 5 o'clock, the percentage drops down to below 20%. Maybe that's the window that we're we're looking for.
Yep.
Thanks, John SS. Reminding folks that, yeah, throw the mullet a bone, if you will, and go over and hit that like button. That's, especially on the live,
you guys gonna want that on the port side?
how we indicate in YouTube that people are enjoying.
Yes, it'll be on the south side of us.
All right, roger that.
How they're enjoying the content and the engagement through the chat. Did we reach 35K? We have. Carlos, thank you so much. Carlos makes that announcement, 35,000 subscribers now here on the channel. Thank you guys so much. I never would have thought I would ever see those kind of numbers. I certainly appreciate it. You guys, you subscribers are the reason I'm here doing what I'm doing. Thank you so much. Yeah, we can see the crane is dropping the weight over at in that area where we've seen the Dale Pyatt dredge working. We don't see the Dale Pyatt out here. Yesterday it was over at Trade Point Atlantic, I think offloading some of that material that we've been watching it pick up the past couple days. But they're working that crane, dropping the weight. Right now we're just kind of focusing here on this span because from what we've been told this afternoon around 5 o'clock, word is they're going to attempt to detonate those charges and break up the rest of this major span that's still laying across the bow of the dolly here in the port of Baltimore. They need to get the span off the ship so that they can back the ship off a little bit, continue to work, but they need to get the ship backed off so Don John can get in there and really start working on getting this channel cleaned up. Port of Baltimore's been suffering now since the end of March, and the effects of having this port shut down have been felt globally. As quick as Don John can get in there, I'm sure they're going to go to work. If you'll remember, Don John was able to get the main channels. They originally said in April they would have that. By the end of April, they would have the depth of that channel down to 35 feet, so some of the shallower draft ships could leave and some could come back in. Don John was able to accomplish that task 6 days ahead of schedule. They're anxious to get back out and get the rest of that material out of that channel, to get the channel down to its 50, whatever the depth is, where they try to maintain it, to get it back down there, maybe even a little more by the end of May. Major task still lays ahead. A lot of material still down in that channel, and more about to be down in there when this other piece of span is blown away. You know, I don't know. I'm not with the detonator. I have no contact or understanding of how the charges will be set off. They've got some demolition experts over there that know how to, if there is some timing that's going to be done, those guys know what they're doing. They'll set it up. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. And we don't know why YouTube decided to demonetize our stream yesterday. They didn't demonetize, they limited its ability to be monetized. I'm not sure what happened. We're going to have to, we submitted a review. Please guys, we don't bounce around politics here, and we try to keep this thing family friendly. This is history. What we are watching here happen has never before occurred in our lifetime, and probably never will again. We've never seen a port suffer like the port of Baltimore has suffered, with a complete closure and then a partial reopening. We're still trying to get commercial shipping reestablished here to put a Band-Aid over this economic hemorrhaging that's taken place here in this entire area. You guys that have decided to join and help us out by joining into the membership, thank you guys so much. You guys continue to humble me with the super chats. Mrs. Ed, Craig, thank you. Thank you so much. And it's good to look in here and see so many familiar faces, and then see the stars, and I know that those people want to be a part of the channel. They enjoy this content so much. They want to help us out. Thank you guys. Really means a lot to me. Weather is really looking nice. It's almost looking like a picnic day out here on the banks of the Pataska River, where we see crews still making preparations for a planned demolition of the span that's remaining across the bow of the dolly this afternoon. From what we understand, around 5 p.m. We're going to be here with you guys. Happy Mother's Day. Again, if you have the opportunity to, your mom's still around, don't forget to give her a call. Yeah, that's correct, Al. Hit it on the head. You know exactly what it is. It gives me a lot of flexibility when I go to different locales for whatever it is I'm trying to monitor. It gives me a lot of different capabilities. Thank you. So we've been watching now teams up working on the man lift, and they are putting those, either wiring or finishing up the charge installation locations for detonation.
Ali, please go ahead.
Yes, sir. Pulling up your port side pilot ladder.
Roger, port side pilot ladder.
I have no idea how much of that section, how much it weighs. I don't know how much of it is buried into the mud. There's some engineers out there who could calculate that for you and give you a pretty doggone good guesstimate of what the span weighs. Now, I'm sure there's some, if it's stuck down in the mud, there's additional weight that's going to be added to that because of the mud and the resistance of the mud if you were to try to apply a force to pull it out. And then I don't know how much of that is impaled into the ship. We've seen images from Unified Command from the bow of the dolly, and some of that bridge material is actually impaled into the ship.
Tow line again, but we got these red buoys coming up, but we'll see as they get closer. We'll put the starboard side of the dredge right up on the tow line or over the tow line. About 150 foot
I've seen
ahead.
a couple of you guys reference our friend that was in the kayak out here yesterday.
All right, pick up the bow, and I'll work the bow to the tow line first, and then we'll come head on.
Yeah, roger that.
Let's hope we don't see any more of
Coming
that,
up.
please. Not a good idea. Not a good idea at all.
Coming to the north.
Derek, good morning. Derek, when you talk to your mom today and wish her a happy Mother's Day, tell her happy Mother's Day from me, would you?
Coming up.
Thank you. I think that's a JLG lift. That's what I've been told. And that kit paint scheme looks familiar. I don't know what the lift, I don't know what the capability is of that thing, but I'm sure it's probably in the 135 feet, maybe more range. Low tide, they want to try to cut as much of it as they can down low. From that exposed part. I think that has a lot to do with it.
About further north. Okay.
If you're just joining us, from what we've been told, the blast is not going to take place until about 5 p.m. today. We're going to be here. We're going to stream for a while. We may take a break for lunch and recharge some batteries, and then plan on being back at least with you guys by 4 o'clock for sure. Let's just see how things go, but that's our plan for right now. There is some other activity going on the site. This is where we've been focusing our attention today.
20 west, okay.
History in the making today, certainly. This piece of bridge span gets removed from the bow of the dolly. We're one step closer to getting the ship moved. That means another step closer to finishing, clearing that channel to restore commercial shipping into the port of Baltimore.
I don't know how how high the tow is. Alright, you can hold the east or hold the west.
Backing it down.
You know, I don't know what's going to happen in with the dolly. Salvers may have, it's possible that they added ballast water to the bow to keep it pinned down during the demolition so it doesn't shift around. We're going to have to wait and see. You know, they do have that capability. These ships do have ballast tanks on them. And they are able to trim the ships by putting water into those tanks. We'll have to see what happens. We see crews still really, and they're right at, now we can see that they are right at one of those bands, one of those areas where those charges, the area's been prepped. And I don't know, is it time, are they wiring this? Is it going to be wired? Will they have remote detonators on them? I don't know. We're going to try to set it off at about 5 p.m. today from what we understand. We're going to be here for sure. If you're just joining us now, we got 2,000 of you here watching the chat this morning. We're live from Baltimore. From what we understand today, they're going to set off some demolition charges at around 5 p.m. local to break up that section of the span we're looking at right now. That span should break up and should fall away into the water after the charges are detonated. Crews up right now in a man lift. We've seen them in a basket as well earlier on the other side, working around that banding, those wraps. Where, from what we've been told, they're setting the charges. Thanks again for joining us, and happy Mother's Day to all you mothers out there. Thank you so much for joining us and allowing us to be part of your Mother's Day. For you guys that are in here and have not
dog in that starboard, Jimmy.
And maybe still have the opportunity, call your moms today. Hopefully, we won't see any intrusions like we saw yesterday. I just noticed it's 14 minutes after 10. I'm still looking out, and I have not seen any recreational vessels come through. I know the captain of the port had put out an advisory, a bulletin, that they were going to open to recreational boaters from 10 this morning until 11, the opportunity to sail out of the port of Baltimore through
I don't think that's going to squeeze, Vinny, through that robber.
One of the temporary channels.
I don't think that choker is going to
It's just one-way traffic from 10 to 11 heading out. at 11, they were going to switch it to inbound traffic. An hour going out and then an hour coming back in. But I haven't seen anybody heading out. We did have rain in the area in the early morning hours here locally. It passed by about 12, 15 miles south of the site. Conditions have been improving. There are some clouds building to the west. There is a rain chance forecast for later on today. It's not as great as it was, and we're certainly hoping that it does not affect the planned demolition. That demolition now, from what we've been told, they're hoping to make that happen around 5 p.m. today. Thanks, John. Yeah, that's one of the reasons we'll probably have to take a break at around sometime after lunch to make sure we get some batteries charged up. Guys, you're with us here live from Baltimore at the site of the Francis Scott Key Bridge collapse. The dolly is still here. The right-hand side of your image shows the containers that are on the bow of the dolly. We're looking at that. We're concentrating today on the span that's still across the bow. That span is expected to be broken up with demolition charges sometime this afternoon, from what we understand, around 5 p.m. here locally. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Now, we're not expecting a big fireball or major explosions or anything crazy like this. We actually had a video that was put out by the Oklahoma Transportation Department that showed some of these exact type charges, maybe just a little smaller, but used on a smaller steel bridge. And they were very effective on collapsing the bridge, and there wasn't a big, huge amount of explosion. Little puffs of black smoke, but the resulting black smoke in those areas, the bridge just crumbled away. We're hoping to see that same kind of result here. And from the size of this piece of material, the size of the bridge that's still on the dolly, and the nature by which it's resting on the ship, that it's inherently unstable. As you take that weight off of it, the ship's going to start to feel that. This is got to be the safest way to deal with this material. We don't want to see anybody that's out here on this project injured. And this looks like the most efficient and safest way to handle this piece of bridge span that's still across the ship. don't think that the charges really present any danger to the crew. I'm sure that they can find plenty of shelter. I mean, just looking across the ship from where I am, the size of that stack, the amount of buffer that's going to be between them and any potential energy. Keep in mind that is directional energy, and I would imagine that when they place those charges, they have the safety of the crew as well as the integrity, the structural integrity of the ship in mind when they're setting those charges. Andy Long, thank you so much. Thank you. We'll be looking for you this afternoon. Again, I hope the images that you guys are receiving here this morning from the stream are satisfactory. We've really got the camera tightened up here a little bit. We can get in there a little tighter, but I want to give you guys the best possible resolution that we can give you. And not distort the image. Now, I haven't heard what kind of warning or what they're planning on doing. I would imagine that considering it is over the waterway here, the Coast Guard will probably make an announcement on Channel 16. We're not monitoring 16. There's a lot of additional traffic there on Channel 16 that really clutters up the worksite traffic. It's not one of the channels we monitor.
Bear Creek, will you coming back in later?
Good morning, everyone. If you're just joining us here, over 2,000 of you with us on the live here. We're in Baltimore, and we are watching crews work on the demolition charges, which are set to go off today, from what we understand, around 5 p.m. We can see them working up there on the basket. They were working earlier from a crane basket on the opposite side of the span. They're either wiring those charges or checking them, or if they're going to have remote detonators, which I don't know. I'm not sure what will be set off and where those charges will be detonated from. But we've seen these crews working ever since we arrived here on the site over at Rob and Robbins, and thanks again.
Can you go in the car or show something?
To Rob and Robin for allowing us access to the property here to be able to bring you guys these images. I know that we're filming history. This isn't my first rodeo. I've done this before. I did this down in Georgia. I spent a year and a half down there in my own backyard watching and learning as a ro-ro ship was cut up and removed from our sound. The vantage point we have here to be able to use fixed mount equipment is amazing, and we're very thankful to them for allowing us to be in here. Thank you, Tiger, for putting that up. Great family. They've got a lot going on here and going through some hard times. And we try to help them out as much as we can. If you guys can as well, we would appreciate it. Thank you so much. So yeah, Timmy, I think you're exactly right. Yeah, I know that I've seen some videos where mining operations are setting off remotely detonated charges, and usually there's a radio blackout for a certain distance around those areas where they're going to do it, because the possibility of RF interference can cause some major problems. So yeah, maybe everything here is hardwired, and I'm wondering, do they set these charges off somewhere on the dolly itself? Do they get behind the stack of containers? So I'm sure the containers would afford a great deal of protection. Those are steel containers, and I'm sure they would afford a great deal of protection for those that are setting the charges off, as well as for the crew. That to me probably seems like the most logical place to execute this demolition. So I don't know, what do you guys think? We would appreciate it if you guys are just joining us and you haven't done it. You hit the like button, hit that thumbs up button for us. That helps us to spread the news through YouTube that there's something interesting going on here at the channel. Thank you guys for being here. Still looking to see out in the distance if we see any of the recreational traffic taking advantage of today's opening from 10 and 11 for outbound traffic, and then they're going to reverse it. Captain of the port said you can go out from 10 to 11, and then from 11 to 12 we're going to reverse it. You can come back in, but that's it. And maybe I do see one sailboat that's taking advantage of it. Looks like there's possibly one sailboat out there that looks like they may be easing by the site. While that action's going on over there, we'll pan around
Oh, roger that.
and and look at a couple other things that are going on. Earlier we saw the crane working over here, dropping the weight, breaking up that road bed. Looks like they're still involved in that activity.
Slide it down.
Dolly still here.
Yeah, on the Carol, you'll wind up with the third cleat back on the barge, even with the bow.
Roger.
They got guys on there?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, we'll go over and move that. We just want to put it on the other side, further out to the east.
You could stay on the same side. We just gotta get them away from the water. Maybe like I don't know, another barge width wide away, more towards that red can.
Okay, yeah, no problem. We'll head over there.
Thank you.
That's our little tour around the site today. Again, we're focusing on this area right here. Now we can see, it looks like the basket has come back down, that man lift. But we've seen them do that before. It looked like maybe they went back down and got some more material or something, and then went back up. And I expect that there's going to be a time period in here before the blast where they're really going to button down the safety zone. They did say, in a press release that they put out earlier, they had a circle where if you were in that area, you would probably want to have some hearing protection. They're expecting us to sound, it's going to be similar to the sound of large fireworks going off, maybe during the 4th of July celebration, the big bangs and booms that go on with that. But I think this whole entire thing is going to be almost simultaneously done. So expect to be, a boom and then a collapse of this material down into the water. Most of those charges are just paralleled from one side to the other. If you look across, if you see one of the banding and look across, you can almost see the other one. They're not completely parallel, but they're pretty close. If you're just joining us here now, 2,500 of you here in the chat. We're live in Baltimore. And crews have been this morning working on those charges. If you look up those, the top portion of the two parallel pieces of beam going up the span, you can see some banding in place there, wraps. That's where they place those charges. We've seen them up on both sides. One group was in a basket off of a crane. The second group was on a man lift.
I'll just back the whole thing up this way.
From up off the barge.
Copy that on the 1250 barge.
Down 74.
74, all right.
They are making preparations for projected demolition of this portion of the span to occur around 5 p.m. here locally. We will be back with the live stream at 4 p.m., if not earlier. We're going to run this live stream as we have here in the past. We're going to run it for 2 or 3 hours here, just kind of watching the site. Again, we're watching and listening to the radio traffic and what's going on out there, and trying to bring you guys, you members here of the Minorcan Navy, part of what we're seeing here in Baltimore through the audio and the video equipment we got here. We think we've got you in here pretty tight. Keep in mind, we are 1.5 miles away.
Done yet on that side, no?
You haven't broken it off full solid?
About the east, the other side. You see the way my bucket, my chisel is? I didn't break the corner over there.
So you haven't broken the vertical off the column on that side?
The vertical is broken, but the column is not broken yet.
Yeah, also going after it.
I don't know, Derek. Is that the Baltimore Oriole?
Right now is done. So the east side is where my chisel is not done yet.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that we were close enough to get the east side. I'll just talk to him. Since that side's done, he wants to start working on this one. Roger that. Sorry, Tucker. Excavator Dodger's done.
Okay. Yeah, put the line back on, Ozzy.
Okay.
Yeah, we've had the VHF up for a while, guys, and it's part of the broadcast here. There are maybe 3 people that don't like it. The rest of you guys enjoy hearing the communications coming from around the site. I think the objective today, Internet, is to break up the span that's across the ship. I don't think they have any intention of moving the ship today. I'm sure that'll be coming in the very near future. Today, the operation's going to center around just cutting this piece up. I would imagine that after this section is demolished with those charges, sonar groups are going to move in and they're going to take a look. They want to make sure that none of that material is impeding the hull in any way. If it is, they're going to have to move some of that before they move the ship. It makes logical sense. You don't want steel beams laying alongside the hull of the ship when you try to move it. Yeah, the long term is to move the ship.
All right, thank you.
The ship has got to be moved in order to finish clearing the channel. And not to mention, the ship is an obstruction in the channel. So yeah, all that's got to happen.
1400.
So today, from what we've been told, 5 o'clock. They're close to 5 o'clock. We're going to try to set off the charges here and break up the span that's laying across the ship. It does look like it could possibly be a drone up there. Keep in mind that
As long as both
a lot of the agencies that are out here are authorized to fly drones, as well as the crews that are out here working the site. They have the authorization to fly. And that very well could be a drone there in the site. I can't see anything with the naked eye, but I can definitely make it out here. Looking at the live stream. Again, they're shooting for a 5 o'clock. Demolition time. If everything remains, if everything's set up the weather behaves. You know, there's some variables, and this isn't like setting time to go to work. There's other variables at play here. But if everything goes according to plan, sometime around 5 o'clock today. Do we have an official update, Ralph? So yeah, we are now looking. Thanks, Ralph, looking at the release from Unified Command. They are expecting the demolition to occur at 5 p.m. And then in parentheses there, time and date are subject to change. Yeah, this is a fluid situation, and we completely understand that here. So that is official now. The word we've been getting was 5 p.m. It is official. That is the tentative time set for demolition, 5 p.m. today, and that's been announced some 15 minutes ago by Unified Command.
Me up to the north, square me up.
Now, we haven't seen the lift go back up in a few minutes here. Maybe they have completed their assigned task.
That's good. You come on down with that one.
I'm not sure, Doc, exactly who's doing, but from what I've been told, controlled demolition is a top-notch operation and somebody very capable of executing this plan. So I'm not sure exactly who the contractor is they have for the demolition. Thanks, Robin. And yeah, you're right. A lot of variables to consider. I know that they want to try to do it on the low tide. Well, until we see something going on there, let's back out. And take a look around the site again. Ship still here, obviously. We're awaiting a scheduled 5 p.m. demolition of that span that's still across the bow of the ship. And the only other real activity we've seen going on at the site is over here, where crews continue to work on breaking up some of the road bed down below. Even that seems like it may be slowed down at this point. We've been here for about an hour and a half this morning watching crews working around the area where the span is still on the ship. We saw them, a couple lifts up there, a basket and a man lift. Working on that in those areas where those charges were. They have retreated. The span coming down will be a major part of getting the channelway opened up. The ship moved and the channelway opened up to restore shipping commerce here at the port. Port has been suffering since the end of March. Yeah, it looks like 5 p.m. 5 p.m. for those of you guys that are checking in. That's what Unified Command is telling us. They put out a press notification just about 30 minutes ago telling us that the activity, the planned demolition is tentatively scheduled for 5 p.m. We can take a look at the ship bridge. It looks like they maybe do have some shades there. On some of the windows. We're coming up on 11 a.m. here, local time. Detonation
On the bow.
of the span is scheduled to go off in about 6 hours. It looks like we're seeing that lift going back up. It looks like the guys are working on one of those supports, one of those vertical supports of the bridge.
Coming ahead.
bring that fast line with it, Vinny?
The stream hasn't gone anywhere. Just time to change batteries in the camera. You guys bear with me a second. Rain has begun to start here as well. We're going to be down on audio momentarily while we change some batteries and some of our equipment there too. Might be able to hear some of that rain starting to fall. Back with you guys. Hopefully this does not affect any of the operation. Crews are still out there. Keep in mind they are a mile and a half away from us from this vantage point. They may not be getting any of this rain. Now this was in the forecast. We were expecting a little bit, and just looking at the radar here, it looks like there is a little line that's forming. And headed in this direction. We may see some passing showers. It's showing that at the time of the detonation, just like that, the weather's passed. The little bit of rain we had there has passed away. We're watching this live with you from Baltimore. Crews still up, and they're working in the area where they've placed the charges. And we're anticipating a 5 o'clock. From what we've been told through the Unified Command's release, they tentatively have this demolition set for 5 p.m. today. Tentatively. Thank you guys for joining us here this morning. Happy Mother's Day to any and all of the mothers that are here with the stream. And if you guys, if you're in here and have the opportunity, if it's an option for you guys, give Mom a call today. Carlos, that's a good question. And we know that we've seen them be able to move some pretty large pieces of the steel away with the Chesapeake 1000, with Don John's assets that they have on site. Keep in mind that once the ship is moved, they will have better access to this area. Once the ship is moved, they will be able to get in and work more of that equipment more efficiently that they have staged here.
All right, coming up on the bow.
On the site. And it must be 11 o'clock because we see a recreational boater taking advantage of the opportunity to pass by now for the inbound traffic into the Port of Baltimore. The captain of the port said, if you want to leave, you can do that from 10 to 11. If you want to come in, you can do that from 11 to noon. Did you see that one? And now it looks like we got a sailboat that's taking advantage of that window of opportunity to pass by the site as well. If you're just joining us for the first time, welcome to the channel. If you have not yet done it, subscribe to the channel for us, please. I'm not going to charge you anything to subscribe to the channel. It is free. Thanks you guys for joining us. Looks like we do have a little parade of boats. But we got another power boat that's on its way in as well. Don't know if I would have been on plane coming by the site, but there you go. Crew's still working up on the man lift on that span. This is the span that's set for demolition at 5 p.m. That announcement was made by Unified Command some 30 minutes ago. It's official. It's officially tentative, 5 p.m. I hope Alfred calls in. I'd love to hear from Alfred. You guys know the story. He is one of the guys that has helped me with YouTube ever since I met him very early on when I started the channel, when I was involved with the Golden Ray project down in Georgia. He helps me tremendously. And I thank him, I thank Derek. Both those guys came up with me when I made the first trip to Baltimore. They were here with me from the start. You know, Mike, common sense would tell you not to be on plane in that area. I wouldn't do it. Just, you know, you're responsible for your wake. A lot of boaters don't understand that. That big wave that comes off the back of your boat, that's your responsibility. And you've got personnel that are hundreds of feet in the air.
The other side is good, right?
I would not be on plane if I was passing by a site like this. Tom, if you're referencing the crane that has been dropping the weight into the water, breaking up the material, that's what that crane is doing. They have a big weight, big bell-shaped wrecking ball, and it looks like they've got a tractor tire that is attached between the lifting cable and that weight. I would assume is a shock absorber. We've seen them many times out here working the site. Usually they're working along with the Dale Pyatt dredge barge, breaking up that roadbed material so that the Dale Pyatt can get in there and pick up those chunks with that 60-yard clamshell bucket on that bucket dredge. The 533 looks like it's just hanging out right now. I don't see much going on with the 533. It seems to just be, we saw it earlier with the man basket on it, and those guys were working on the, in those areas of those charges earlier. Since then, it's just been kind of hanging out. All the work that's been going on, it's been going on our side of the span with this man lift basket. I don't even know if the cranes will have to be moved. We're seeing a little bit of weather build to the northwest of us. Fortunately, that weather is kind of heading our direction.
Yeah, 4 inches. I ain't gonna make one.
And they are, in fact, now working again, breaking up that road. We see that crane dropping that weight again. So that's exactly what's going on over there. We had a question in the chat about what was going on over there. They're dropping the big weight. It's like a wrecking ball. They're dropping it down and breaking up that roadbed material that's still laying at the bottom of the river. They'll do that.
Good day. Over.
And then they bring in
Yeah,
the
it's
Dale
better
Pipe
now, and
dredge
just
barge,
wanted to pass you on
and
my
they'll pick up the
board.
debris. We've seen the Dale
Come
Pipe.
on, go ahead and let's do
And
one
one of our-
whistle pass there, and I'll let you on by. Do you need me to scooch over a little, or you got room?
Plenty of room here. Just didn't want to upset your breakfast.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Come on through. I'll throttle back a little bit for you so you can get by quick.
Seeing more recreational boaters come through as well, but we have seen the Dale Pipe rustle some pretty large pieces of steel up out of the river bottom. Steve, I don't think that the crew is in any danger from these directional charges. They've got plenty of room on board the ship to move out of it. This is not going to be a huge explosion. These are small charges set to aim a direct amount of energy.
You don't want to have that at 60-foot mark,
in certain
that strain
locations
release spinning.
to allow that metal to split. It's not a huge explosion that's going to go off. Ship crew's in no danger, and as far as why they're there, you got to have them there. The systems that are on that ship need to be monitored, and they need to be maintained by a group that's familiar with them. You want to keep those guys in position aboard the ship. That crew's now retreated from the perch on that man lift, and we've seen them do this a couple different times, where they're up and they're back down. Seen some recreational boaters out here taking advantage of the opportunity to now head back into the Port of Baltimore. They've got this opportunity for the next hour, or I should say until 12 p.m. From 11 to 12, recreational traffic was allowed back by the site, inbound only.
Get that tape back.
Sky is beginning to get a little dark. We're anticipating a little bit of weather passing through the area It almost looks like over at the Brandon Shores power plant in the background, maybe they're starting to get a little bit of rain over in that direction.
Okay, so 6 feet is the bottom of the fish grade.
I think they've been scavenging food out of the onboard containers or refrigerated containers aboard the Dolly. No, I'm just kidding, guys. Those ships are well provisioned. Keep in mind that they're usually set out for months at sea, and anything that the ship has needed or the crew has needed has been delivered to them. Zero, are you in line for a new Gulfstream? They fit those Gulfstreams right in my backyard at our Brunswick Airport. That's where the Gulfstream facility is there, where they fit them. They build them in Savannah, Georgia, transport them down to Brunswick, where they're fitted, customized to the customer's liking. Taylor, I can give you better than an estimate. Unified Command has said 5 p.m. tentatively. We're going to run the live stream here like we have in the past for about 3 hours here in the morning. We'll shut down to charge batteries and make sure that we're ready to be back in action by 4 p.m. in anticipation of seeing that span blown away. Keep in mind, this is a fluid situation. Time is subject to change. Conditions may change and force a delay. Go and film. Thank you very much. Happy Mother's Day to all. Lisa, thanks for coming aboard as a sailor. We thank you so much. From what we've seen on the radar, there is possibly some convection in some of those storms that are popcorning up. Breakfast was very good. Good stop at Cookies. I've become a big fan of a local restaurant here on the other side of the river down south where we're staying. Cookies Restaurant. They've become part of my morning routine. They get me started with a good breakfast every morning. Captain Truth, this entire process out here is exciting. I think it's important to document every aspect of it that we can. But thanks for joining us. Appreciate you being part of the channel as well. Welcome aboard. We did see earlier crews up working in the area where those charges are. They have retreated. We've seen them retreat a few different times. Maybe they're going back for additional supplies. Maybe they've completed their task. Dolly still being held in the stern by those stern lines there. They've anchored out the stern to keep it into place. Tentatively at 5 p.m. we're going to see those charges detonated, and that span should fall away from the ship.
Coming up on the bow on the Brian, can you square up and then pull me to the south?
Try to get the camera worked just outside of that flagpole. Flagpole's an obstacle we can't really do anything about from our position here.
All right, coming up on the bow.
I fucked up on that. I forgot about the other box there. It looks like we're gonna fall right into it.
that drift.
Yeah, that's it. I can pick up the stern and just have him pull me back a little bit.
Got nothing on the walker there?
Nah, that's it. Had a little bit, that's all.
Yeah, if you want to pick it up, I'll pull you back real quick.
You want to do that? Come up on the stern. Well, the bow's still up in the air.
Got it up? Okay, yeah, go ahead and do it.
Alright, give me a pullback coming up on the stern. Just hold me right where we are. Give me a little boost to the north on the brine.
Bump back to the north.
Yeah, just don't push just if we have to.
Raindrop starting again here in our position in Dundalk.
Gonna go a little north.
Awesome.
Try to show you guys what the weather looks like right now, what we're receiving. The blue dot is our location. And you can see we got a little bit of a line that's kind of forming here. The wind is picking up here now, and we're starting to get a little bit of rain. Yeah, we've got a tent set up. And as long as the rain doesn't start coming in horizontally, we're okay. $2,500 of you here. Thank you guys. If you're in here, consider subscribing to the channel and at least give us a thumbs up. Coast Guard is, they've got course 16 hail and frequency. They're on there, as well as channel 81. Wind's starting to pick up here as these little pockets of rain now kind of coming across the site. We're probably going to see this happen, according to that radar, for a little while that goes on today. I'll remind everybody, we have been posting a modified video at the end of the day, and it's sped up. So usually you can watch that video. It's a 4K telescopic camera, and you can see what's going on at the site.
Finish this box up.
Yeah, roger that. Coming up on the bow.
In about a 8 to 12 minute video. I wish we could stream that 4K vision from that telescopic camera. We don't have those capabilities, but we are recording it. And as I speak here now, I see a drone that's flying overhead that is well inside of the TFR. Not us. I don't know if you guys could hear it, but it just flew over. Heading out over the river.
Alright, you can let her drift on the brine.
No, it did not look like a military drone at all.
I am coming alongside your portside pilot ladder with a drop-off. I have one firefighter going up.
Roger, portside paddle ladder.
So it sounds like they may be moving some personnel into some key places. That sounded like communications with the ship. Let's see if we can see what's going on over here.
Alright, about 15.
I hope these images are coming through to you guys as clear as we're
Good
seeing
morning.
them here on monitor.
Coming into
We got it.
Thank you guys. You guys make it worthwhile. I got to tell you, thanks so much for you guys investing your time here with us. We're going to try to bring you the best possible images we can with what we are working with. Again, shooting from about 1.5 miles away from the site. Thanks again, and happy Mother's Day. We don't have a lot of female subscribers to the channel, but if you are one of those here today and you've had children, happy Mother's Day to you. Thank you for joining us today on your special day. Not sure what we're seeing. Saw something lowered down onto that boat, and it looks like maybe something's going back up there. Is that what's going on? I'm not sure really what's going on there. Interesting nonetheless. I hear the drone again. And it's flown over. So maybe they got what they were after. It usually does not take the authorities long to locate a drone here. Dr. Macagliano, great to see you here with us in the chat today. Thank you so much for joining us. Everyone here anticipating the countdown, now tentatively set for 5 p.m. for the detonation of this span that's still across the bow of the dolly. We've seen crews today up working out of both baskets suspended by the cranes, as well as working off of man lifts off the barge. We currently see a crane there. It looks like they've got a clamshell, and they're working on some of that material. Down on the river bottom. Thanks guys for joining us here. 2,700 of you here with us in the chat. We are live from Baltimore. We are at the site of the Francis Scott Key Bridge collapse. where the dolly at the end of March struck the bridge and the bridge collapsed into the river. With it, 6 workers who were up working on the road surface died in the accident. Now, when these detonations take place and when we see that span break up, I'm also expecting to see some of those crushed containers fall away into the river. We do have some weather kind of moving through the area this morning. So far it's been nothing more than a passing shower and a little bit of wind. We hope that that does not affect the time. It looks like the 533 is now operational again with personnel in the basket. We're going to try to get up here a little tighter so we can see what. Now we've seen this from time to time where the guys have been working and then gone back down, maybe to gather up more equipment or supplies. It looks like they've got a couple of workers that are here. They're in the basket being suspended by the Weeks 533 crane, and they may be in fact headed back up towards those wraps. Those dark bands that are on those spans are where those charges have been set. There's some up top, there's some on some of the horizontal structure, and some across the bottom. Thanks for joining us here on the channel. $2,800 of you here with us now live. Happy Mother's Day to you. Mothers that are here with us, thanks for joining us on your special day, taking a little time out of your schedule. We certainly appreciate the time that you guys are spending here with us and the time you invest with us. We're going to try to give you the best possible images we can and just let you know what we see. Our plan for today is we're going to run this live stream probably for about another half hour. We'll take a break at that time to make sure that we've got charged batteries ready to be back live with you guys at 4 p.m. today in anticipation of that 5 o'clock demolition of this span that you're looking at right now. Workers in a basket off of the Weeks 533 crane, now up towards the very top of that span.
Swing the bow over to south there.
Roger, coming up on the bow.
It looks like we may see a little bit more weather here move through. Looking at the radar and looking back towards the northwest, we can see those dark clouds approaching. But it looks to me that after this little line that is formed over, passes by, we may be clearing up for a little while. There's still some weather on up towards Williamsport, again northwest of us, north of Harrisburg. But once this weather passes, it looks like we're going to be okay for a little while.
By itself. This time it closes this time.
Alright, Spud's on bottom.
See the man lift now coming back in the frame. I'm going to try to drop the camera down a little bit more here for you guys. Where we can kind of see what's going on there. Crews continuing there to make preparations for the demolition, now scheduled for 5 p.m. That notification coming out today from Unified Command. Thanks guys if you're just joining us. It looks like, weather permitting, any other delays permitting, 5 o'clock, Unified Command has said the detonation of the span that's still across the dolly will take place. It's great to have Dr. Macagliano in here with the chat. He has experience with the Merchant Marines and a great resource. We're so happy to have him as part of this operation. He's forgot more about shipping than most people will ever know. Thanks for joining us, Doc. If you guys haven't done it and you're here and not, do like I do and get subscribed to Dr. Macagliano's channel.
And they're talking about closing the river at 1,300. Is that what you guys got?
Now this morning they were telling us 1,500, but everything changes, so.
Yeah. Okay, hold on. They're calling them back now.
So what we're hearing there is they're talking about closing the river 1,300 or 1,500, which would be, that's either going to be 1
Safety
p.m.
zone at 1,500, guys.
Yeah, roger that. We got a couple of more spots heading west.
Oh yeah, no, I know it's only 12. I'm just saying that, you know, that's what they're saying right now. So just be aware of that. You know, I'm gonna need a half hour to back this thing up out of the channel.
Yeah, I don't know where we're gonna go, but we'll be ready when time comes.
Yeah, we're probably going to stick you guys just east of that Fort Carroll.
Okay, so by the east moorings, just on the channel side of the east moorings.
Shoot it straight ahead.
Clock, and from what just listening to that traffic right there, the guys that are working around there are going to have to be back. The big pole that's on. Raindrops starting to fall again here on us. Wind is picking up as well. Thanks, David. Thank you for your support. The sky is getting dark now. It looks like we're going to have that line of rain move through here. We'll do our best to keep rolling here live. If all of a sudden the cameras go off, it's because we had to take preventative measures of protection to protect these this equipment that we've got set up here. Ray, thanks for joining us. You guys, I really appreciate everything you guys are doing for me. We surpassed 35,000 subscribers today. That's a huge milestone for us. the reason we're here is because of you guys. Thank you so much for your continued support. I noticed that the man basket is leaving the site. The Weeks swinging those guys back out. I kind of expected this to happen when this band of weather started coming through. Wind's definitely picking up here where we are from our point over in Dundalk. The sky has taken a very ominous appearance. Hopefully this blows over quickly. Really hoping this does not affect the tentatively set schedule for the demolition of that span to occur at 5 p.m. today. Thanks for asking. My eye is getting better. Still suffering a little bit, but it's getting better. I'm on the road to recovery. Thank you so much. What's the time difference between Baltimore and Minnesota? I don't know. What's the time zone in Minnesota? I'm just geographically way off. You guys know I'm out of my comfort zone here. We're in the Eastern time zone here, though, in Baltimore. Adjust your schedule accordingly. That's 5 p.m. local, 5 p.m. Eastern is the targeted demolition time for that span. And it looks like the crews have now just retreated while this weather band comes over. Guys, in an effort to protect the equipment and charge some batteries in anticipation of being live at 4 p.m., I think what we're going to do now is terminate this live, and we'll be back to join you guys at 4 p.m. Maybe beforehand. If you haven't done it yet, subscribe to the channel. Make sure that notification bell is clicked to all, so as soon as we fire back up the live stream, you guys will get notified and know to come back to us. We may be earlier than 4.
Delaware Bay.
Hey, I'm just coming up on the stern of the ship now.
But while we have the opportunity to take cover for this approaching little weather that's going to do that, we're going to do that now. Thanks for everything, Tiger. Appreciate you being here with us in the chat, everybody. We will look forward to seeing you back a little later this afternoon for the anticipated demolition of that span across the Dolly. You guys take care and be safe out there.